Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cam Tool version 19 version up. I am recording this, so you will be provided, if you want a copy of this, just please reply to the email or send one into support. Due to the large volume of people in this meeting, it's going to be hard to keep up with any questions. So if you could please write down your question in either the chat, and I can address it after the meeting is done, or you can send an email into support, and then we can do a bit of a more one-on-one with any features you wanted a bit more explanation on or anything like that. I'll try my best to keep everyone muted, um, so we can move along. Good. So, all right, I'm just going to get right into it, and thank you. All right, so a few improvements coming in today. First is when you copy a calculation process list, you now don't have to set your product shape or your work or your material. They're all copied over with it, so you don't have to reset that. Also, material has been added into the tree, making you be able to set the material, and then therefore when you load the tooling database on any profile, it will only show any cutting conditions you have set for that material, so it's just another form of filtering. Oops, why is it not displaying? Sorry about that. Apparently I'm new at this. So yes, this is the calculation when you copy it over or create new, and it will automatically set it. And now material has also been added into the tree view. I can't. Sorry. All right. You can now set in the environment settings, refer to product shape, so that way you're not always selecting it. You can add group settings to the work and the jig functions now, and that will just allow you to easily pick them if you use the groups. Jig is now not associated with the work, it's its own separate category now. And you can also add STL files into jigs now. There's a quick, easy way to output a tool list. It's just in the tree view. You can just output it right from there, and it just gives you some pictures and some numbers. Currently, this works well with metric. It is being requested to add some more additional features in, and to also expand the decimal points as it was built around metric. So for inch, it kind of rounds it out, making it kind of useless for certain users. Uniform setting of tool safety distance. With 5-axis seats, you used to have a environment setting in the editor, and you had an environment setting in your optimization. If these two didn't match up, it would also often result as a lot of different errors. Now you can set it so that they're all the same and it's all reading to the same things, making 5-axis a lot easier to get a good green program. With this, tool offset has now been set as interference check avoidance margin. I generally add this in as stock amounts and a little bit of extra, and it just makes the conversion a lot easier as well too. In the editor, the edge R offset has been changed to the edge R adjustment. This is just it's just an offset that can be put in to help with the interference check. With the creation of multi-stock models, there is many problems that are associated with it, with gaps and everything, and your model has to be perfect. You can now set for the multi, if it fails, it will automatically create a Z map, and now you can also have that create a multi off of that Z map. It'll just show up as a yellow. That's not true, but it does make it a lot faster, especially so that you're not spending a lot of hours correcting a model just for 5-axis conversions, especially if it's something small that doesn't really matter. For the example, the bottom of a hole. Contour cutting. When you removed all the contours, it would revert back the page one to whatever the default is in CamTool. Now it will revert back to just whatever the page one is set at. So you don't have to re-enter all your values in. Extract model change part is now available. So now you can overlay two different shapes and it will highlight where the changes are being made. This makes it a lot easier to identify these parts, and you should be able to also output a wireframe or a 3D contour boundary around these parts, making it easy to have the boundaries to go ahead and re-machine in there. For angle shading and curvature radius shading, you can now set additional patterns to have different angles or different radiuses being able to be shown for different size jobs. And you're also able to deselect the colors and they will just only highlight the colors that are available in there if you don't care about the extras. So for surface to machine in your extra extension surfaces and different stock surfaces, they can be duplicated now, and they are also able to be highlighted as different colors. You can have it all as the same colors, or you can have them separated the colors so it's easy to identify which ones are different stock surface, which ones are just face not to machine, and etc. like that. Also, the shape setting can now be set as wait. Yes, and then there's just this single color display. Version 19 will also highlight the surface to machine. It will highlight it even if the layer is inactive. There has been a request to have an option to turn this off. So let us know if you would like that option and we can request it again too. And if you clear the extension service and different stock service, it will automatically be added back into your service to machine, so you do not have to reselect it. You can now display tool contact point CL. This is output from the optimized condition page. This is very useful when using, for example, a barrel tool where you're not exactly sure of the actual overlay. So this will output the points on the contact point so you can see that you have machined everything. You're also able to create tool shaped fillets. You're just able to put in a diameter and a radius and it will create a STL file of that of the radius is in there. This can help out with calc times, especially if you're roughing out to, let's just say, a 5 mil radius. And then therefore you don't have to turn on corner art processing for your programs, enabling you to calculate a lot faster. You just have to select this in your surface to machine. You're now able to use offset on surface for the offsetting methods on certain programs. It will just allow, it will cut the overlap that's extra there. So you're not trimming it yourself. It will just offset it on the actual surface itself. For auto toolpath boundaries, Z-level, low angle finishing, and scanning line area have been added into the cutting modes that are able to use this. If for customers with the option of fill surface, you're able to just double click or click on the line itself and change it from tangent to position as opposed to the right click and then changing it manually. Remachining has been improved, and equal pitch has been added into undercut remachining. The smoothing function has been also enhanced to suppress the gouging. So it's able to just smooth that out and make the radius. Insert R for low-lying area has been added into Z-level finishing. This was a feature added in on low-lying area. But now, if you don't have this as a face not to machine, it will radius off before it hits the face so it doesn't gouge in on that face if you were cutting that flat, or if you were just using a scanning line or any other type of program. There's a Z direction feed parameter now added into base surface programs. Before it would just go into there and not feed in, because sometimes you are plunging with this toolpath. Avoid tooling interference is available with a barrel tool cutter now. Corner R processing added into 3D offset cutting, improving the surface finishing for this toolpath. For curve cutting, you now can project it onto a surface. Therefore, it's not gouging anymore, and it will just contact on the tool contact point. This way you don't have to offset surfaces to create curves, and it just makes that a lot easier for grooves and such. So you can now set edges for it to work off of for plunge rough cutting to select set directions, and that way it will try and keep it more as an equal step over step down. Also, you can set your preferred direction, even though I'm pretty sure nobody uses these plunge rough cutting. 5-axis auto has been improved again. Now in the corners, it's going to try to change more of the rotational angle as opposed to the tilt angle, therefore reducing the hours that it spends doing trial and error to try and find the best tool path. And just keeping more uniform, as with all the tool axis directions improvements they always do on every version up. You now have component point rearrangement on Z-level finish polygon to make the points a little bit better. With the solid, you can now just add, instead of the whole shape, you can just add the offset from not the outer circumference. Therefore, if it's already been squared up and you just need to add your stock up here, it makes it a lot easier. And now able to do the rotate the stock so that you can create more accurate stock models. The lead haircut can now recognize hollow areas on ZMap and multi. With thickness, for customers that use this option, when adding the thickness to there, it will be displayed as 0 and not going to have the extra stock there when you use the compare stock model. So it will read what your thickness is, and then therefore highlighting at 0 ensures that you're actually roughed out to the thickness stock. In the CAM environment, you can set your smoothing range and your maximum GO1 length. This used to only be available in the 5-axis editor, and now you're able to set it here so that all toolpaths can be applied with a certain smoothing range. This just increases the smoothing range between the direction changes and increases the length of them. You're now able to see the undercut neck length and flute length when using show interference error. When you're using add surface to machine, for example, on surface finishing, you can add it with the shape or have it add a new one with clearing the shape surface. You can now have more comment characters and profile comments. You can now select by the you can set your user comments to have actual names as opposed to just the comment one. You can change the names of them, and you can select by the cutting mode. You can now have, for bringing in tools from your tooling database, you can have it include the tool numbers or not include the tool numbers in the loaded data. Tool number count has been put up to 9 characters. If any of you have a machine that would need 9 characters for a tool number, I would like to know. Thank you. For skip sequential, when having the divided processes, sometimes in controllers you can do like a tool 27, tool 27.1. You can now have that added into when you're using the skip sequential to add in the different 0.1 numbers for different tools after they've run the time that they're not supposed to run. Oh, that's right here. Tool helix, material and CL image file path and tooling image file path has now been added into your setup sheets. If you'd like them added in, please just contact support. Interference check has been improved with the avoidance margin. Sometimes when you have a tool shape offset and your retract value is smaller, it detects that as an interference. This has just been corrected. It won't actually do a warning now. Cube can be displayed as a solid, or it can be just displayed as a wireframe even when you have solid displayed. Avoid tooling interference has been improved accuracy for taper tools. This was a big problem before, especially for roughing out ribs, and now it's a lot better. Same with the edges from face not to machine. It would sometimes remove pass. This has been improved so that it can work as intended. For chamfer tools, you can add a 180 tip on them, as opposed to having just a 90, or you weren't able to do the 180 before. You can set chamfers on taper pipe threads, attributes, add it right to the hole. Divide CL, you can now, it will output a division before, so that way you can make sure that your times match up good, or set a new number before actually splitting up the program and realizing you have a program with 3 minutes or 10 minutes after, when you'd rather have them split up more accordingly. Individual stock for X, Y, and Z has been expanded to scanning line area and low line processing. The improvement of approach for horizontal area cutting can be added as much as possible, as opposed to doing the 3D arc. Calculated recommended value has been added to remachining. You can add 1 to 4 digits for the skip sequential number, and IJs and Ks can now have up to 15 decimal places. Add it into there. If that's something you would like, please contact support. Right, let's check this chat. This concludes our version up seminar today. As I said, any questions, please forward them to support. Also, there in the invite that was sent out, there is a small questionnaire. If you could fill that out and send that back to us, so that we can review that and look at possible things to include in this next version up. That would be great. Thank you. And if you need the video, please reach out and I will send this once it is once I've finished it.